Hi there, my name is Jensen and I work in enrollment services at UC Davis Continuing and Professional Education. Welcome to our CEQA Practitioner Program on-demand information session. If you have questions after watching this information session, our enrollment services team is happy to help. You can contact us using the information provided on the program's webpage, and one of our enrollment coaches will be happy to answer your questions. Alternatively, feel free to email cpecoach@ucdavis.edu if you have any questions. I'll be off camera for the duration of the presentation and will return at the end. As a quick overview of the agenda of our information session today, we're going to do a program overview. We'll discuss the program audience. We'll talk about the structure of the program, and then we'll go through important information to get started. We'll go over the finances of the program, and then I'll come back on camera for next steps. The CEQA Practitioner Program is a 5-class program designed to provide environmental professionals with a comprehensive overview of the entire CEQA process. Through a review of case studies, project-based work, and real-world examples, you'll gain an understanding of the legal requirements and best practices necessary to confidently navigate complex environmental review processes from initiation through approval. This particular program can be completed in as little as 6 months, and the courses offer varying amounts of CEU and AICP credits. Each class has an element of mandatory live Zoom sessions. If you are just interested in taking a course or two, you can also do that without enrolling in the entire program. Upon completion of the 5-course program, you will receive a CEQA Practitioner badge, which exemplifies your expertise in CEQA. That can be placed on a resume or your LinkedIn page for current or prospective employers to review as a credential. In addition to the tangible outcome of the badge, you will be able to understand and apply CEQA requirements and underlying case law. You'll be able to establish thresholds of significance. You'll be able to create effective, defensible mitigation measures. You'll review CEQA documents and supporting materials, and you'll effectively manage CEQA projects and teams, all while learning how to engage and communicate with stakeholders regarding CEQA. Frankly, our program audience is fairly broad. If you are in a CEQA or CEQA adjacent position, this program will have useful information for you. With that in mind, these were 3 of the broad categories we had in mind when we created this program. The program is targeted specifically at current CEQA-related workers looking to formalize CEQA education with a verifiable skills badge, professionals transitioning into roles that require CEQA knowledge, and civil engineers and real estate developers. Again, this is not an exhaustive list of beneficiaries from this program, so you may find this program valuable even if you don't perfectly fit one of these categories. This program is going to be a time commitment no matter where you're approaching the program from. If you are intending to enroll in the program, I want you to be fully aware of what to expect when it comes to your time. We will go over each class individually and its exact course structure and time requirements in just a moment. Each class has its slight differences in terms of structure. Broadly speaking, however, all courses are a varying mix of asynchronous and synchronous work. You can expect to watch both live and pre-recorded lectures, complete assigned readings, participate in discussion questions, and to complete a handful of activity assignments in addition to knowledge assessments done through quizzes. Generally, each course is about 6.5 hours of work per week. As mentioned before, you must attend the live Zoom sessions. If you enroll in a course and a prior engagement comes up, you must transfer or withdraw your enrollment prior to our provided deadlines in order to make sure you receive credit for the course. Now let's move on to the courses themselves and their schedules. The 5 courses in the badge are CEQA, a step-by-step approach, which is offered every quarter, We have successful CEQA compliance, an intensive seminar, which is offered summers and winters. We have project management for CEQA, which is offered summers and winters. We have developing and writing effective CEQA documents, which is offered in spring and in fall. And then mitigation measures and development monitoring, which is also offered in spring and in fall. In CEQA, a step-by-step approach, what you can expect as far as the structure goes is a mixture of asynchronous and synchronous coursework over 1 week. During that 1 week, you will have to proceed through 9 modules, and each module is going to contain pre-recorded lectures, a discussion, and a quiz. And then the course culminates in a mandatory live Zoom session in which participation is graded. In CEQA's step-by-step approach, you will gain a comprehensive introduction to the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA, its legislative foundation, and its practical applications to public and private projects. In mitigation measure and development monitoring, you can expect another mixture of asynchronous and synchronous coursework over 1 week. You'll go through 9 modules, which will contain pre-recorded lectures and a discussion, which will culminate in a mandatory live Zoom session in which participation is graded. In this class, you will develop the expertise to draft, implement, and monitor legally defensible mitigation measures under CEQA, NEPA, and related environmental laws. In project management for CEQA, you can expect a mixture of asynchronous and synchronous coursework over a 1 week period. You'll go through 9 modules. Each module will contain pre-recorded lectures and a discussion. Module 2 in particular will have a quiz, and Module 9 will include a graded activity. Again, this course is going to culminate in a mandatory live Zoom session in which participation is graded. In this course, you're going to develop the project management expertise to successfully deliver CEQA documents on time, within budget, and in full compliance with legal and procedural requirements. In successful CEQA compliance and intensive seminar, you'll experience a mixture of asynchronous and synchronous coursework over a 2-week period. This will contain 15 modules, and each module will contain pre-recorded lectures, a discussion, and a quiz. This course has 2 mandatory live Zoom sessions in which participation is graded. This course examines the preparation, review, and certification of CEQA documents with an emphasis on impact analysis, alternatives, mitigation, climate change considerations, and integration with related environmental laws. Finally, in developing and writing effective CEQA documents, which is a synchronous course with supplemental asynchronous coursework over a 1-week period, this will include mandatory Zoom sessions that are 2.5 hours long, with supplemental and optional 1-hour Zoom sessions that will follow. The Zoom sessions typically occur Tuesday through Friday during the duration of the course. And in this course, you will build practical skills for developing clear, organized, and legally defensible CEQA documents through a step-by-step approach to preparing environmental review materials. To reiterate the time expectations for each course, this is the amount of time you can expect to spend each week. On CEQA, a step-by-step approach, it's about 6.5 hours. And that goes for project management for CEQA and mitigation measures and development monitoring. Those are all 6.5 hours. The outliers are successful CEQA compliance and intensive seminar, which will be 6.5 hours per week, but will constitute 13 hours over a 2-week period. And then developing and writing effective CEQA documents, which is only 1 week long, but you can expect to spend 10 to 14 hours depending on if you attend the optional live Zoom sessions or not. Before we get into the cost of the program, I'd like to talk about some potential discounts you can apply depending on your circumstance. So first and foremost, if you register for all 5 courses at the same time, you can qualify for our bundle discount of 10%. This would involve paying for the cost of the program up front. You can receive the same discount if you are an employer or if you are planning on being funded by an employer and you enroll in a group of 3 or more. So you would receive a 10% discount for that entire group enrollment. Beyond that, you can receive a discount of 10% up to $100 if you are a member of the CEAA, otherwise known as the California Aggie Alumni Association, or a part of any UC alumni network. And finally, if you are a UC Davis employee or staff member, you can receive a 20% discount on the program up to $200. As a final but important note, please keep in mind that these discounts are not compatible. You can only use one discount at enrollment. If you believe you qualify for any of these discounts, I would highly recommend that you reach out to our student services team, whose contact information will be provided at the end of this information session. Now let's talk about the enrollment fee of each course, as well as the overall cost of the program. CEQA, a step-by-step approach, is $480. Successful CEQA compliance and intensive seminar is $630. Project management for CEQA is $425. Developing and writing effective CEQA documents is $500. And mitigation measures and development monitoring is $425. Overall, the cost of all 5 courses combined is $2,460. If you bundle the courses together and pay up front and receive that 10% discount, the cost of the program is reduced to $2,214. Finally, if you're looking for funding support or you're interested in exploring how the cost of the program can be mitigated, I'd highly recommend reaching out to our student affairs team. You're going to want to make sure you begin this process well in advance of enrolling. This is going to be if you need private loans, government assistance, such as a GI Bill or VA funding, if you qualify for WIOA or SETA, or maybe you're interested in exploring what those even are, that's where I'd recommend you contact our student affairs team. You can find their contact information on screen. It is cpeinfo@ucdavis.edu, or you can call at 530-757-8777. One thing to note is that this program does not qualify for FAFSA or Title IV funds. Now that you've heard all about our program, it is time for next steps. If you're ready to enroll, that is great. You can do it online at cpe.ucdavis.edu and by navigating to our program's homepage. Alternatively, you can also call our student support team at 530-757-8777. They're available from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. If you're not ready to enroll and you have questions that you'd like to get answered about the program that weren't answered by this information session, that's where I'd recommend that you reach out to our enrollment coach team here at Continuing and Professional Education, which you can reach by emailing the email on screen, cpecoach@ucdavis.edu. Thank you again for taking the time to learn about our CEQA Practitioner program, and we look forward to seeing you in class.